Croeso Channel Blaid Llwyd. It's 1915. It's Echo. And we're on William's route. He did get an update a while ago, but since there have been so many Nik updates, I delayed this slightly, but we're now going to catch up on this, and then the next Smoke Room episode will be another Nik update, and we'll go from there with how they're doing the updates. I've kind of lost track of what's going to be happening, but it's mainly Nik and William, so I'll be having a bit more Smoke Room in the future. Anyway, it was quite a while ago I last did a William update, so Will was talking to Cynthia when Cliff randomly popped up, which means I have to remember how to do his voice now. We'll see what happens. Mr. Horling. He clears his voice. Mr. Tibbets, here for you, please. Mr. Tibbets. I'm working as quickly as I can to apprehend the instigator behind your assault. If this is your quick work, then I certainly don't want to see your slow work. I'll let you know if I think of anything, Mr. Tibbets. He waves his paw dismissively. Well, don't let me distract you. Easier said than done. He opens his mouth again, gets interrupted by the door opening. That's just Sam again. I couldn't hear any shouting from the hall, so I took that as a good sign. When Sam sees Mr. Tibbets, he has a look like he walked in on a picture show of himself plastered on the wall. Oh, why, if it isn't Samuel? Oh. Well, if it isn't Mr. The room is so quiet I can hear the piano in the saloon playing through the walls. Tibbets. Right. Sorry. It's been a long day for me. It's been a long day for all of us. Still ain't over. A wave of fatigue rolling its way through my body is starting to give me the jitters. I could really use a smoke right now. Sam looks from my face to hers. Looks like he's putting together we ain't done talking. Good news, Tibbets. Huh? Tonight's your lucky day. Why don't we get to know each other a little more down at the bar? The bar? That didn't go so hotly the first time. Just relax and don't do anything to stand out. He opens the door and beckons the weasel outside. I'll even buy you a drink. A drink? A cheap one. Well, if money's the issue, then I'll buy the drink. He wags his pointed digit. There's no need to be frugal if the alternative is swill. Sam gives me a look like I owe him more than a few favours as he steps out of the door. Listen, Miss Sosie. I know that you don't trust me. Frankly, I understand why. If there's anybody you're willing to talk about, just let me know if there's anything wrong or suspicious to Sawaro's hip. That seems like it's out of your hands. Whoever or whatever that might be, just know you can pass the burden of it on to me. Well, let me think. She bends down to brush a piece of dust off her skirt and crosses her legs. You and I both know you know more than enough about the girls. I lean against the wall, balancing on the back of my foot. I'm trying to let my blood pressure rise. Was that you messing with my papers? Gonna lock me up? I could. She crosses her arms. So do it then. If I arrest her, the other girls would know. That would spread to Madame and I wouldn't be welcomed here anymore. We both know this. She's seen how far she can press the envelope. But we both know I'm not going to do that. Just help me out here. She looks away and squints. Then she looks back to me. Maybe there's one way we can help each other out. Oh, yeah? I think there's something wrong with the barkeep. Harlan Perkins. He works just fine with most of the other staff, so nobody else really has a problem with the guy. But I just know there is. I nod and cross my arms. And how do you know? Well, there's a few things. But mostly there's these little mannerisms he has. I work a lot of shifts with him, so I get to see how he interacts plenty. And let me tell you, there's a lot of rage there. A lot of malice. Oh, he hides it well, but not so well enough from me. I can read it on his face. So why are you suddenly so willing to talk about him specifically? Well, he's not exactly family. So certain people at the brothel are family to you? Well, all of the workers, really. Even the ones who are rough around the edges. Well, like Sam? Well, of course, Sam. But also the ones who won't approach first-timers. And the ones who don't want to be here but really have nowhere else to go. That's a tough life. Yeah, being married sounds tougher. Didn't work out so well for you, did it? I crack a smile. No. No, it sure didn't. She laughs too. Quietly. Plenty of the girls who come here think they've hit rock bottom. Enough of them think they're disgraced because Christian men want virgins. Or rather, the virgins they didn't dally with yet. Those men's losses. Virgins aren't so good in bed. And more importantly, these girls have got to learn what rock bottom is. I hum. What do you think that looks like? She bites her lip, nodding. Well, you saw what happened to Mrs. Green. Tied to a broke husband at the hip, till death you do you part with no spending power. She crosses her arms and sighs. Now that's rock bottom. The girls aren't so mean to themselves at work in the profession after they get used to having money. As well as how to manage it. So I take it a bartending Jack, who seems to be the madam's biggest fan, wouldn't exactly have as much in common with the rest of her employees. Back to Harlan again? It's been on my mind lately. Can you tell me what you know about him? I don't like how he looks at me the past few days. Normally he's curt and rude and minds his own business. But with me? She bites her lip again. He stares. What do you suspect? To be honest, I just don't want to think about Mr. Perkins right now. If he is doing something wrong, I expect he's going to slip up sooner or later. It's your job to notice when he does or not. I hold my hands to my back and look at the ceiling, grunting as my spine stretches. I only have 2 eyes, Cynthia. Give me some results and maybe I'll get more. Are we done here? My breath escapes me. Yeah. We're done. She unfolds her arm and stands up. Her only elbow bumps into me on her way out. When I open the door, I see a few girls run around the corner, whispering, giggling before they disappear. The bar is packed. Well, it's typical for a mid-afternoon on a Sunday. I don't have to see him to know where Sam is sitting. I'm at his usual spot in the corner. As I approach it, I can hear that I was right. Does it shine? Yeah. Can I find it at the bottom of a river? Yep. Is it a mineral? Nope. The weasel leans into the table, crossing his hands. How many questions am I at? 17. That was one of your questions, by the way. That doesn't count. Yeah, huh? The weasel starts chittering manically in different language. Does it glow? None that I ever seen. Last question. Okay. Is it bigger or smaller than half a meter? What's a meter? What do you mean, what's a meter? I mean, what? is a meter. Ah, right. It's the size of 3 feet. My feet or your feet? Okay, now you're just trying to vex me, Samuel. A foot is 12 inches, I think. Oh. Well, then, in that case, I suppose it depends. What do you mean, it depends? Time to take another guess, Mr. Tibbets. What am I thinking of? Weasel rubs his temples with his hands and makes a groaning sound. Then he stops and smiles. An anchor. He perks up and puffs out his chest. Nope. The bollocks do you mean, nope? Calm down, Mr. Tibbets. I've got your answer. Weasel leans in closer. Yes? You go on. You ready? Oh, goodness, yes. All right. Sam holds up a finger and then balls his fist and coughs into it, clearing his throat. The answer is a freshly caught catfish. Oh, what? That's absurd. I shit you not, Mr. Tippets. The animal is real and quite absurd. I asked you if the thing was living and you told me it wasn't. A freshly gutted catfish. You cheated. No, I didn't. You just weren't thinking broadly enough. Broadly, my foot. I ought to shake you. Sorry to interrupt you, boys. You're not interrupting a thing. This game is over. I need a drink. Watch him pout as he makes his way back to the bar, waving his hand for the barkeep's attention. He's right, you know. You did cheat. I don't agree. You all can't be too stubborn about something that's say to be in. You're just teasing him, aren't you? Maybe just a little bit. I feel myself grin. Piece of shit. Hey. It's not like neither of us got to have any fun. Besides, you won't let me pick the game. Very sportsmanlike of you. The sportiest. He watches Cliff still waiting at the bar and lowers his voice. So what did you and Cynthia end up talking about? We're both suspicious of the bartender. Sam squints and looks back at me. Our bartender? We ain't drinking anywhere else, are we? I just mean... Well, look at him. Don't make eye contact. I meant figuratively. He's old, William. He's got a lot to lose if he screws anything up. He sure does, doesn't he? A look of understanding crosses his face. And he looks guilty. Ashamed. So you think he might be backed into a corner? Or maybe. For all we know, he could think he's already lost too much. People do some desperate things when there's nothing else to lose. I feel angry. Oh, stop blaming yourself. It comes across harsher than I meant it to. He flinches and scowls. Sorry, I can't exactly turn my feelings off like you can. I meant there's a difference between what you need and what you want when it comes to being backed into corners. He's doing fine enough for himself compared to you. Or Nick. Cozy job, bartending the most popular place in town. Really know how to make a man feel special. I want to get into his office, Sam. His office? That's funny. Am I laughing? No, but it ought to be if you think you're getting in there. He keeps his space locked tighter than the chastity cage Dora put on him. Do you think Harlan has secrets? Everybody does. Relevant to the case, I mean. I don't really know. You've never been the nicest fella. It's fair enough you don't give him any trouble. Keeps to himself. So you trust him? He taps the table. I didn't say that. Enough for you to think he's not suspicious, I mean. Cynthia doesn't trust him. Well, what about you? I consider most of Cynthia's judgments good enough to be considered what I believe, more likely than not. Any exceptions? He shrugs. As you, I suppose. He grins. I don't need everybody to like me. As long as I like you, Sheriff. Don't get me hot in public, Sam. It's the desert, William. Everybody's hot. He knows what I mean, so he doesn't get the dignity of a response. Rather than calming down, the energy in the bar keeps ramping up. The overcrowding there spills into the stage area and I can hear some performers start to speak up. I kick back in the chair and fold my arms behind my head. There's your deputy. A very confused looking otter is talking with Cynthia. Todd! Voices in the bar quiet down a bit after I shout. But the noise recovers quickly and the otter comes rushing towards us. There you are, sir. Get a thorough check on the greenhouse and log the necessary evidence. Did Marcy make it? Not for now. Oh, good. She comes to, she'll probably have more to tell us. The otter droops. I don't want to step on any toes on the thing, sir, but don't you think she's done enough? I shrug. We'll leave it up to her. I just don't think you should press her too hard if you get the chance to speak to her again. I understand your feelings considering you grew up around her. Well, if there's more she wants to share, the more we know, the better. He's shifting a bit in his seat. I just hope there's better things in store for poor old Marcy. I reckon Mr. Green's soul is hopping on charcoal by now. She'll do better going forward. Sounds like there's something you don't want her to say. Huh? About Mr. Green, I mean. He scratches the back of his neck. Not sure where you got that idea from. Just keep discouraging us from the notion of talking to her again is all. It shifts again. I'm just real concerned about her is all. She's the bee's knees, really. Todd looks nervous. Sam looks doubtful. Or maybe Sam is onto something about Todd. Maybe there was something else going on between him, Marcy, and Mr. Green. Can't have any guesses yet, though. You really didn't like Mr. Green, did you, Todd? Well, Mom and Pa tell me it's important to like everybody, no matter how hard it can be. Sometimes it's real hard. He whistles and laughs. There's no chance you knew what was going on in that house, did you? His tone gets harsher. Oh, no, not really. The cougar shrugs and drops it. I can tell Sam isn't going to push any further. Now, I'm definitely going to want to talk with her when she's able to speak again. Good afternoon, boys. Sam flinches and lets out a genuine shout that makes us all look at him. His ears lower. Sorry. I'm just surprised. I am known to be very scary. It's the first time you got the jump on me, too. Somebody as big as you shouldn't be able to do that. Nik shrugs. I'm very familiar with this bar. Are you usually at the mine still? Not today. It is a strike, Samuel. So you don't have to go into work, I take it? You also don't get paid, Sam. Well, shit. Well, there is good news. We could use some of that. Yes. I sigh. Agreed. Negotiations are going somewhere. A 20-cent hourly raise will be added for everybody in the company. Todd whistles. Now that's what I like to hear. I raise my glass and Todd meets it. Good on y'all. It should still be higher. I agree, but we expected nothing. Well, something's always better than nothing. Not the case with diseases. Oh, lighten up, Sam. Victories, however small, should be noticed. Yeah, lighten up. Must be glad they're not robbing you as much. Anyway, why don't you grab a drink with us to celebrate? You can tell us why you showed up here. Well, I usually come here first to get Sam. Then I walk him over to your office. Thankfully, since you're already here, I won't have to make the extra effort. I meant what for? You know, the occasion. He hums. Well, for our nightly plans. I try to focus for a moment. What do you mean, nightly plans? For the Stag tonight. Oh, fuck. I completely forgot. My looks on Sam and Todd's face a little overwhelmed. Why not place a bit rough and tumble? Things tend to get rough when you take a tumble. I don't have the energy to go to another dance hall tonight, Nick. Well, it'd be a shame to see you miss another opportunity to see it at night with all of us together. Well, we've had a long day. And there's a lot of things I need to think about regarding Mr. Tibbet's case. Okay. No pressure. My cup has been empty for too long. I take a sip of the beer next to mine on the table. That's mine. Well, I need it more than you right now. I take a big swig of his drink. Hope you like the taste of my spit, then. Todd gulps and Nikolai avoids eye contact with everybody. A good thing alcohol tends to clean even the dirtiest of mouths. You and I know the proof on that beer is less than 4%. You're not tasting just my spit with the proof that low. He leans over and whispers into my ear. I'm talking about the balls I've licked, William. I know you dream about me licking balls. So why keep me waiting? I sigh. I wish I could answer that right now. I don't want to spoil the mood. So I just decide to act cheeky. Because I never need to make you finish. What are you both whispering about? Nothing for years of God or civilized company. Well, I'm sure you wouldn't be mad at us forever. Just a little bit of indecency here and there. That's a bold presumption to make. Well, I just thought about it for a spell. He just thought about it for a spell. Sam clearly isn't impressed. I came up with this. I can get mad about something that happened yesterday. But when I think about something rude somebody said to me 6 or 7 months ago, I'm barely sore about it. If God exists forever, as forever to sit and think on things, there must be way too many things to stay mad about forever. So you're saying instead of Jesus nailing his wrist to a cross to die for our sins, he's just waited it out? More or less, maybe. People say I'm morbid when I talk. What does Nikolai think about it? Yeah, I'd love to hear another perspective. Yeah, Nick. Enlighten them. Oh, me? Then there's another Nick at the table. I do not know God. And he does not know me. But if he ever shows up to see me, I will say hello. Well then. The alcohol is passed on to somebody else. There's Bible talk. I'm sweating plenties. This might as well be church. I think I'm going to step outside for a bit of air. Want to join me, Nick? No. I'm invested in the conclusion of the discussion. All right, then. I'll be back after a smoke or two. The plants and the fancy seats on the front porch of the hip make for a cosy space to sit. But it might be a fruitless endeavour, sitting all the alcohol and the pussy is inside of the building, which makes it where everybody really wants to be. People give me looks as they pass me by, but I just ignore them, rustling through my pockets. There's a thick cigar I've been saving for a stressful situation. I don't take it out just yet. I've had far worse days than this one. Oh, I fish around for a slim stick in a pack instead, pluck it out and go ahead and light it. A rush of relief flows through me as I inhale. And then blow. Not the kind of blowing Sam was talking about, though. If I ever did want to try that again, I think I might want it to be with him. Or at least have him near me when I did. He's anxious about a lot of things, but never the act. And that confidence is contagious. Something about how he moves and how he smells and all the noises he makes that helps my body wake up. If I indulge too much in those pleasures, we're bound to get caught. I don't want anything to happen to him because I couldn't keep it in my pants enough. Hello, Sheriff. Oh, the Burns boy. I forgot he was going to show up too. Spotted me quick. Well, I just figured you'd be all by yourself in the most popular place in the city. That's so. I puff my cigarette again. And I start thinking about men sucking cock again. Word of mouth tells me the Burns boys certainly sucked a lot. Maybe even more than Samuel. And as ashamed as I am to admit it, that excites me. He has a good-looking muzzle for it. And he's a canine like me. Canines know what canines like. He could probably do things to me even Sam couldn't. Raise a forbidden fruit, so to speak. A healthy working relationship with his father is necessary to make my job possible. Don't you want to think about getting entangled with what things his mother gets up to? Are you just going to stare, or are you going to fill me in with what that business at the store was about? Probably nothing good about your family if the evidence keeps stacking up. You don't have to worry about it. It's probably not true, but worry never helps nobody anyhow. I don't think I'd have to if you were straight with me. Sorry, buddy. I don't have a full picture. I know pieces. Is there anything specific you want to know? Is my mother under arrest? I roll my eyes. I don't think I have the power to do so unless she starts walking around with severed heads. And it has to be the severed heads of people who would be missed. That make you feel any better? Strangely, yes. He takes a seat next to me. There's an odd smell to him. On the surface like lemons and a crisply washed clothing. But beneath it's a sickly, sweaty smell. Kind of sweat you get from having a fever, not from a brisk jog. You seem off. Oh. Do I look bad? You look great, actually. The smell gives you away. I picked a pretty lousy time to get sick, didn't I? Getting shot in the arm will do that to you. Well, it'll have to be ignored. My sister's wedding's in a few days and they won't be able to prepare without me. I think a family like yours could hire some labour. He finds a wicker chair across from me and takes a seat. Labourers are great for moving things, but not so good at helping with logistical problems. Or aesthetic ones for the photographs. I nod at him. So are you still going to play as hard as you work tonight? If I'm doing one, I might as well do the other. And seeing how you act when we get you smashed at the Stag is too good an opportunity to pass up. And you think you can handle that? I guess I'll see. I chuckle. Then I frown again and lower my voice. Mind if I ask you some personal questions? I'm surprised, but not at all. Frankly, I wish you did more often. You seem like somebody who loves who you want as much as you want. And I think you know what I really mean when I say love. What do you get out of that exactly? I wait for a group of 6 to pass through the door before he answers. All I know is I feel whole when I do it. Like I'm where I'm meant to be, and it's just that simple. What about after when somebody sees you like a thing instead of a person? He shrugs. It helps being picky, you know. And God knows I get enough interest that I can be. I finish, then move on to somebody else. Keep the details near and dear to your heart if you don't mind. Oh, it's too bad you don't want to know. Mr. Burns, it's not that I don't want to know. It's that I probably shouldn't know. As somebody as viscous as you would probably split me open, but I think I'd enjoy it while it lasts. There'll be no that in any more bedrooms while I'm around. Your arm was fun for just a second. I can swear to the flick of it was there. Go splash some water on yourself in the bathroom. Anyway, so where's Sam and Cliff? Right, Mr. Tibbets is busy with the women upstairs. But we were at it for 3 times yesterday. I'm very happy for you, Mr. Burns. Yeah. Sam should be in his usual spot. I don't know Sam's usual spot. It's a corner of the bar and the alcove with a round table. You must pay attention to him a lot if you know that. I pay attention to a lot of things. I'm just saying. You should probably ask Sam what you're asking me. I take another puff of my cigarette. Hard this time. Then I blow. Well, I also don't want to die of embarrassment before the conspirators come for me. And you weren't with me? You're a professional. It's different. Sam is by definition a professional. And his profession is particularly applicable to those sorts of things more than mine. I shake my head. No, it's complicated. Then want to unpack that a bit? No. He sighs. First thing I'm doing is sending Sam out. You don't? Second thing I'm doing is finding which room Mr. Tibbets is in, so nobody's going to strangle him with a makeshift noose made of stockings. Jesus, Murdoch. You're already gone by the time I'm down to the butt with his cigarette. If I talk about this, I know Sam will get ideas. Which means I'm going to really have to talk about it. Sooner or later he comes along. The fox sent me out here. I know. Seemed very insistent on doing so. We don't have to talk about anything if you don't want to. Sometimes silence is good. I like the silence with you. He smiles at me. We watch the clouds roll by as the sky turns from blue to pink and the people pass us by. Last time I went to the place we're going tonight, which was recently, a man flirted with me. It happens to me all the time. Well, not to me. Not shocking. Most people don't know. Can't know. And yet still, he flirted. Who? A big Sonoran wolf. Easy on the eyes. Ears, too. Kinda sounds a little like you. Well, he certainly looks durable. I'm no good with delicate things. I don't want to break nobody. Is that why you like being so rough with me? Yeah. I know that you can take a lot. I mean, you already have. He nods. So why not flirt back? See where it goes. Because I don't get the impression he'd kneel for me. So kneel for him. Last time I did that, my dad caught me. And you're still alive? Most of my 20s felt more like walking through a haze than living. I feel plenty alive these days. He arranged a marriage between me and my ex-wife within a week. Married in just a week's notice? Yeah. I hate to see the bit on that kind of quick arrangement. Mostly it was more of a courtroom proceeding than a ceremony. I was out of my childhood bedroom and living in the house my father bought for a while. Take another puff of that cigarette. Then I blow. The smoke looks ghostly. I wanted a child before the year was up or he'd send me to the sanitarium. Sam cringes but nods. So I gave him a child. And I gave her a child. And he has a name, and it's Andy. I figured somebody getting to be born was better than catching genital diseases in an institution bathroom, or having strangers take pieces of my brain away. Sam crosses his arms. Well, after hearing you went through all that, I think swallowing sounds a whole lot more fun than having a kid. I don't hate it. In fact, you love it. It reminds me of that impossible choice. The life I could have had if I ran away. Or the life I could have had if they caught me and locked me up with all the people who have brain damage. Some men just aren't going to kneel. Doesn't need to be explained or defended. It's just the truth. He leans in closer. I just wouldn't want you to miss out on something I think you'd enjoy. What makes you think I'd enjoy it? Because it's dirty. You like dirty. Well, I like dignity too. Just try it just once with me. Maybe next time then. He smiles. You sure? You know I don't like repeating myself. The sun is getting even lower in the sky. Sam and I stopped talking a while ago. It's a cosy kind of quiet considering all the noise still coming from the inside of the bar. It's 7:17 here, which means it's 9:17 there. What are you thinking about? Names, traces, motives, intersecting interests. Think about lighting another smoke, then I put it back in my pocket. At least, that's how I want to say. If I don't put it all down on paper in my office, it's hard to keep track. So if you're going to waste time, then why don't we do it somewhere more lively? You mean the Stag? Might do. Look at you becoming a social butterfly. Why do you really want to go? I've never scoped it out for clients. Might be good for business. You telling me you never sniffed out the place despite all the years you've been here? Sounds fishy to me. Well, maybe it's nice to see out of your element for a change. What do you think my element is exactly? Just think it's funny you can be shot at or be up to your arms in blood, but you don't wrinkle your nose until you have to make a social obligation. Crowded bar with a bunch of pent-up drunks ain't exactly a tea party, Samuel. Yeah, I'm sure we can arrange one of those Mr. Tibbets instead. I pinch my snout again. Oh, stop. If we take turns bending him over the table, it'll probably pop faster than the kettle did. I feel nothing in my body now but pain. Just shut the hell up. Let's get everybody together if we're going. Sam and I stretch before going back inside to corral everybody. Nik and Todd were where we left them. Nik is happy to hear the news that we decided to go for sure. Todd took this as an invitation to go too. The damn Stag doesn't seem like his kind of place, but it's too awkward to tell him no now. Finding Murdoch and Mr. Tibbets is a bit more of a struggle. We check the bar on the stage, then the powder room. After circling the whole hip 2 or 3 more times, Sam finds him in the powder room, which confused us all because we thought we'd checked there. Murdoch looks annoyed. Mr. Tibbets looks incredibly relaxed. Though I can't help but notice he's walking a bit oddly. Once everybody's together outside, Nik waits for us a little further down the dirt road. When we catch up to him, he clears his throat. He puts his hands on his hips and nods solemnly if he's going to make a speech. Good evening, gentlemen. And boy, is he starting one. The first thing I want to express is my gratitude to each one of you for making this evening possible. This is a historic occasion for myself and Sam. We've never been able to get William to come and drink with us at the Stag. It's not a big deal, Nik. Oh, moon. Oh, stars. What wheels do you turn to make our Sheriff Adler attend his dance? I roll my eyes. If you keep this up, I'm just going back home. My office is right there, you know. I point at the building as we pass it. Yeah, pardon me. I don't mean to interrupt anything scripted, but what's the purpose of going from one dance hall to another? The Hip is still a brothel, Mr. Tibbets, but it's world famous for its entertainment, its organisational policies. Where we're going is more of a free-for-all. And it's a gentleman's club. So there will be no women. aside from the scant drag king or two sneaking on occasion. But they're not exactly turned away. Can't say the same for the Mr. and Mrs. Covels.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, why might that be so bad? Because then it would just become the hippot without the class.
Mr. Burns, I've heard that you'd say such a thing. There is plenty of class at the Stag. It is called the proletariat class.
He smiles slowly. Murdoch cringes. A good one, Mr. Kroll.
Either way, it is cosy, and that is what matters most.
Last time I checked, it was just a barn. He holds his paws on his hips and shakes his head.
On off hours. At the right time on the right day, it's not just a barn. It comes to life.
I nod to him. So, a crowded barn. Well, I know my way around a barn. Pa's been herding cattle since before I was born. I help him and my brothers out when I'm at the station or patrolling. It ain't that kind of barn, Todd. Well, what's the difference? The animals filling this one up as people. And they'll give you mean looks if you don't know how to dance. We have to dance?
Yes.
Of course, it's not a rule that you have to dance.
No. Tonight, it is a rule. One dance at least.
Well, one dance shouldn't be so bad. Oh, what kind of dances did you know, Mr. Bronson? Square. Pardon? Oh, you know. He holds his arm out to the weasel to hook it. The weasel looks like somebody's waving a dinner fork in his face. The fox butts in to take it and twirls with him. It's like this, Cliff. Oh! He meant a quadrille. Albeit a very Colombianized one. That's the style most people use. I think you'll see more ragtime steps like the grizzly bear and the bunny hop. I thought it fitting I learned the foxtrot. He grins, and there a small groan hovers about the crowd. Boo! Instead of skulking away in shame, he wraps his hand around Sam and leads him backwards. The cat keeps stumbling backward until Mr. Burns grasps his hand and twirls him before letting go. Cliff's jaw opens a little and Todd lets out a wolf whistle. Nik is glaring. What's fun about it is its persistent advance. It fits me well, I should say, sappy by the side. So how do you exactly know which dances they'll be using in the barn club?
He performs there. Though he performs better when he's not trying so hard to show off.
Well, I have to show off when somebody boos me. It's at least twice as insulting as the initial boo.
Well, if you can impress with your hands on an instrument rather than Sam's waist.
You can both touch my waist if you like. Murdoch gives him a thumbs up. Nik looks slightly embarrassed and pushes ahead of us to keep walking.
We shall be there in less than 5 minutes if we pick up the pace.
Sam slows his pace as he walks, coming close to me. He's still upset with me, isn't he? I grunt. Now what gave you that idea? Never mind. We don't need to talk about this right now. Tonight's supposed to be fun. Fun for those three, maybe. Murdoch is practicing more dances with Todd until Cliff cuts in. It's a bit too complex for Todd, but he's trying. I'm not that much of a dancer. Well, that's too bad. Because I'm a phenomenal dancer. You don't dance well. His tone is doubtful. You didn't know me 4 years ago, Sam. He smirks. And you don't think you might be a bit rusty? Nope. Hard to forget once you learn. I don't know. You look a little past your prime to me. Seems to me like I moved just fine the other night. But you think you'd be able to keep up with that wolf you told me about if you see him? There ain't going to be no wolf. You're dodging the question. Just because I can dance doesn't mean I'm going to. He nods smugly. Nik won't allow that. I feel my scowl getting a little bit longer. If I dance with anybody, then it's going to be you. You think that'll work? Why wouldn't it? All eyes are going to be on you tonight. Which means less eyes for me. He grabs my arm and his tone goes stern. I'll do everything in my power to preserve this natural order. I shrug him off and he stumbles. I couldn't help but overhear your dancing claims, Mr. Adler. I would very much like to see your skills, if you'll allow it. Perhaps it's a gesture that we don't need to be at one another's throats for the duration of my stay. I don't need any gestures, Mr. Tibbets. Just your cooperation. He rolls up his sleeves and stands in front of me, chest puffed up against mine and blue eyes looking up at me. Oh, what's the matter? Afraid you can't keep up, Mr. Adler? I'm more afraid I can't keep up with him. I point to the foxhole and he smiles back at me. I just want to show Colombians a new thing or two about dancing. I promise it'll be worth it.
If there's anybody showing the Colombians how to dance, it'll be me.
Ain't the two of us a bit too big together on the dance floor, Nick?
It is a big enough barn.
Look, I'm not promising to dance with all of you. Let's just say whatever happens, happens. Nick nods solemnly.
Well, accept your terms.
I feel my frown getting tighter. I'd walk him back to a few more walks and tumbleweeds. I can see the barn in the distance. In all honesty, there was some truth to what Nick was saying. The barn had a bit of glimmer to it when there were more lanterns and candles lit. What I didn't notice before was what was behind the barn. There are a lot more barns behind it I hadn't noticed before. The shadows are silhouetted against the moon, longer shadows of the pale figures disappearing into the blur into the obscurity of the greater shade. What was at the barns back there?
Those are shared spaces, owned by the property handlers.
For what purposes?
Recreation?
I think I get the gist of what he's implying. I'd only been left to make my own assumptions because of a vague answer. Sam teases me with a lilting tone. Fingers crossed you find him when we go inside.
Him?
Actually, there's a man I keep running into. And, well, he's a bit forward. He wants to sleep with him.
William, are you...
Nobody said nothing about no fornication, all right? And you all get a bed egg off my back. I can hear Todd's voice a good deal away. Did you hear what I said? Why is he yelling about fornication? The other two are lagging behind even further. Jesus, William, I was just joking. Well, it's like if I could tell you one personal thing without making everybody else's business.
Oh, so it's true.
All I did was think about it, okay? I feel my heart beating faster and I lower my voice. And Jesus Christ, Joel, we're still in public. Nobody heard us, Will.
You are still too used to the city, Will. Things can happen here. Nobody cares.
Frustration is rising in me again. You'll be surprised when you're a public official.
You above anybody here has an alibi. You are still on the job.
Even still.
What?
I don't want to lose control of myself so easily. People are counting on me. So are we, Will. What are you talking about? You remember what happened back at the mines in the tunnel? Well, that just wasn't normal. I know it wasn't normal, y'all, but nothing's happened to me since.
You have to take care of yourself or you can take care of anybody else.
Listen to Nick. If you aren't going to listen to him, then please just listen to me. Pull the stick out of your ass and enjoy yourself. For your own sake. Why the hell do these two get off lecturing me? So, all three of us turned to Murdoch, Cliff and Todd, finally catching up to us. You all ready to go inside or what? Will? Yeah, I'm ready. Oddly enough, the smell inside is better than it was the last time I was here. They completely opened the doors the outside. They're burning oils and candles that smell like pine tree sap. The inside is so crowded with people we can't even get to the centre bar right now. Barkeep looks more tired than I am. No sign of the bounty hunter yet, though. I should be thankful he's not here to tempt me to do anything stupid. Also feels like I missed out on something I'll never take a stab at again. Oh well. So it goes. Sam is sitting on one of the rafters, sitting still while Todd and Mr. Tippets chatter about what sounds like beeswax and candles, or God knows what else. Why do you look so disappointed? We just got here. Too much of it today's on my mind. That's all. He looks me over. Oh. That man you're looking for ain't here, is he? No. I don't know. That ain't the only thing, Sam. What else, then? I look over at the crowded bar. I was really hoping for a strong drink when we got here. Well, if we bum rush the bar together, we can clear a path. Might break some limbs, but some of the people here are so scrawny they obviously ain't using them anyway. I snort. You're atrocious, Sam. As though you made you laugh. The music stops. We see Mr. Burns walk over the fiddlers, who greet him with open arms and pat him on the arms. What's he doing over there? Looks like he's grabbing a guitar.
I told you both he performs here. Were either of you listening?
I don't know if I can trust that man. He knows how to do too much. That's often what happens when your parents make you do too much. The fox clears his throat and addresses the crowd. Well, howdy, folks. The barn cheers for him just a little too loud for a building this small. You all want to know what I think? They respond to him with a raucous shout. I think it's a beautiful night for a beautiful crowd. You see, I have some associates with me tonight who must not be named. But they're stag virgins, so to speak, so if you can figure out who they are, please make sure to be gentle with them. It startles me to see what a different person that fox is in front of a crowd. Suppose when he's in an auditorium or office, quietly set up a camera. Once again I'm flooded with thoughts about the energy in his step and the flow of his body. The kind of thoughts that make me forget about his family as I watch his tail move, bathed in the moonlight from the rafters above. It puts an odd kind of energy that's somehow contagious. The energy you're only trying to find in those up-and-coming hotspots in the big city, the ones that all the undiscovered celebrities go to. Let's set the tone from tonight with a little song and dance.
Wind rocks the desert night, the summer sand, natural things, naturally. What frontiersmen should understand, and nothing's more natural than knowing how to move. Here's a tune about an ache that we can soothe. Let's reenact a snappy scene that duds might find mundane, about a pair of partners who went up and missed their train. One grabbed the other's wrist and asked him, buy a man some hooch. Course the other said, we'll sly or another working pooch. He tossed and taps a shoulder blade as temperance flies the coop. Then eyes meet eyes and glass meets glass as whiskers start to droop. Well, if you're feeling spry and gay, I think you know what's next. Lock eye to eye and elbows hooked and keep your partner flexed. Wet your whistle, quench your thirst, though it be hard to see. Having vice ain't always nice, but hey, at least you're free. Now take a dip and hook his hip, remind me of that scene where words pass lips between the sips and somewhere rather mean. But hey, they're pressed in closer, hey, their courage bloomed, and hey, they're taking wagers, boasting over which their manhood loomed. Though thigh to thigh and pockets frisked, he grabbed his partner's wrist. Got a different kind of drink for you, I simply must insist. grows foggy as those spirits fade. Look now how morning light is seizing our charade. Ruffled slacks, sweaty backs, all about the floor. Revel quietly as others about you snore. Lock gazes and think upon my scene. You may find the things they hadn't yet and thoughts between. Lover's light, morning dark, and everything you know. There as many locks and keys as you allow.
There's little campfires all around us. The shades of people crawl around us, grasping blindly for their own little pleasures in the dark, as Sam and I cling together, his chest close behind me. I feel the lump in his pants against my leg. I turn around and find his tongue with mine again. It's good. And he is good. But even after all of this, my mind is frantic. What did you kiss me again for, Will? I hold him closer. Tight. Because it feels good. What kind of question is that? He chuckles. I meant the man you're looking for finally showed up. Well, I guess. You got him to dance with you. Well, who didn't I dance with tonight? He stares at me. You want him, don't you? I don't know what to say to that. I don't know if it's good for me to get everything that I want. But I do, and I want to be with you right now. Then just close your eyes, Will. So why do you want him, Will? You ain't the risk-taking type. I think I know, but I'm not sure how to say it. You gotta be kidding me. What? Comparison ain't that crazy? You're right. It's completely crazy. What can I say? You both know how to push my buttons. I think you might be mixing up the bad kinds and the good kinds. Well, sometimes the wires get crossed. He puts his hands inside my shirt. Sifts his fingers through my fur. Finds my chest and squeezes, pulling my back to his chest. Do you really want to do something to make me happy tonight, Will? Tonight? Yeah. Anything. Okay, then. I've been thinking about some of the things you said. That there are things that, if you pass them up, you won't have a chance to do again. And you know what? I think you've been through that so many times. Think about where he's going with this. So you want me to do something stupid? Yeah. And I want to do something stupid with you. Something a messy, stupid, young and dumb William Adler would want to do. Not the 35-year-old man who thinks too much and who's a stranger in his own body sometimes. We stare at the stars together for a moment. You sure want to do this alone? Why, you want to come with me? He smirks. Kinda. Won't that be boring for you? Not if he has you doing some of the things for him you have me do on the regular. I smirk. So you think this is a payback, huh? You might be disappointed if you think I'm as easy to bend over as you are. I didn't say it's going to be easy. But I have faith the show will be satisfying when you're butting heads with somebody just as stubborn as you. Are you really willing to loosen up? I think you should mention that. Maybe. You don't sound too sure. Guess I ain't. I think this is the kind of thing you need to be sure about. Otherwise things can get messy quick. Not so much the fun kind, huh? You tend to have fun from one side of it, at least. Can't say for sure about the other. You know, Sam, I read once upon a time ago the lights we see in the sky right now are from stars that died so far away a long time ago. And it makes me think that I don't want to be a walking reminder to people of what I used to be. I want to feel alive right now and live with more with the time I've got left. After all this shit with the hit and the killings, I mean. Sam just laughs. Good. And let's go back to that bar. Let's find that wolf. And we can do something stupid together. We help each other to our feet. And walk back inside. As people are asleep on the floor and on the rafters, the music's still going. There's still plenty of people who haven't had their fill of dancing the night away. Kane is still at the bar. Somebody has a way of still looking good even after sweating. I can smell the alcohol and the sharp canine signifier on him well before I'm near and take a seat next to him. He glances over at me and smirks.
Well, hello again.
It's good to see you mixing with common thugs and vagabonds didn't give you a heart attack, Sheriff. And that your bedtime isn't 8 o'clock. He slides his drink towards me. You really think I'm no fun, don't you? I put my hand on his drink. It's cool to the touch and warm to the lips. I can't believe it till I see it. Why'd you propose he shows you then? I've got this, Sam. Take another sip of Kane's drink, then put it down and slide it back over. Do you? Kane chuckled. Yeah, do you? I solemnly swear it, bounty hunter. A few heads turn to the end of the bar and scoot away. The wolf makes a disgusted noise and starts mumbling. Not so loud. I was like, if I was talking about this again, folks are jumpy. Sex, Mr. Bronson. The otter clammed up. You don't be so blunt, Mr. Ayres. With you, I gotta be. What, is he looking to join us too? No, he isn't. Except his ears are going beet red. Why don't I handle him? Sam. I have unfinished business with this one, Sheriff. Illegal business, no doubt. A bit hypocritical to say that, ain't it? Yeah. The truth, though. Well, now I'm invested in the entertainment. He points at the otter. 2 lawmen for the prize of one is too good to pass up. You all come together, so to speak, or I don't go. There's a knot forming in my chest. You're a real bastard, you know that? Oh, you don't know the half of it. His little indulgence just turned into a logistical challenge. Too risky. He leans his chest against the table and rests his head against his paws. You're telling me you're scared of a little risk? A one-note laugh escapes my throat. Acting like a kid ain't gonna make me agree to something this stupid. Sleeping together, man, is one thing, but group of us? In the open? I don't care what Nik says can happen there. That's just too plain risky. So, how about acting like an adult? Let's get a drink or two on you and see how you feel. Sam nudges me with his elbow. Come on, Sheriff. Besides, if he tries anything fishy, we outnumber him. Kane walks out a shout to the barkeeper. Get me a glass of spirits over here, put it on my tab. A full gold glass of rice and whiskey gets placed in front of me. Mr. Kane? Not a word till you get a glass down. I open my mouth and he tilts his head, eyes shining like he's about to laugh, fangs showing. So I down the whole damn glass. It burns as it goes down, but I keep on gulping. There we go. Goes down smooth, don't it? For a moment I hear the familiar voice of a young German shepherd on a wolf. I check my watch. It's 8:55 here, so it's 10:55 there. So what will it be, Sheriff? Want to do something different for a change? I know this is a mistake. But I also know I still want to make it. There's something important here. Should I make a mistake? I'm afraid that's going to be a no, Mr. Kane. He shrugs and then takes a swig of his beer. See it yourself, lawman. He sets the glass down the table with a tink. Just trying to hit the whiskey too hard. Slight grin on his face spreads a little wider. You see him like the type who keeps a bedtime? There we go with William's update. So there'll be another one out, I think, before too long. So we'll be alternating as usual between William and Nik with the TSR updates, but they will be more frequent. And then I'll be ending that series, but there will be more elsewhere. I think Dirk the Red Panda is still working on these, and of course Murdoch and Cliff still have plenty of stuff to be written. So there'll be way more Smoke Room, even after I'm done. And there'll also be more Distant Travels coming up during this week. I'll be just wrapping up things on the current build there. And then on the weekends are Saturday, 2 PM Pacific time, which is whatever it is where you are. That will be a couple of hours or so doing a live stream. I should have a couple of VN readers, some VN devs. Yeah, we're just going to talk about VNs, chat a bit, maybe a bit of a Q&A thing, mainly for me. And also there'll be a group reading of part 1 of Echo. Redoing that video I did almost 6 years ago. It'll be 6 years exactly on Saturday. So there'll be a few things going on if you'd like to drop in. And of course it will be saved on YouTube if you'd like to check it out, but you're not free Saturday afternoon. I think it'll be fun. And I'm looking for more people to get involved, so if you're watching this, anyone in the Echo project, let me know if you'd like to join in. It'll be fun. As always, I have to say thank you to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. You really help keep the channel running. And my top patrons are Kartek, Cobus Visser, Bastian, Brian Hall, Tiger Cup, Ida Corval, Dissonance, Grizz, Spiderling, Kopi, Sindri Dragowolf, Evan King, Exact, Aaron Fox, Mohammed Al-Zamel, Andy Peng, Samuto, Omar, Nova Starburn, Harvest Mouse Productions, Bieka, Rafu, Mario Cervantes, and Matt Kenya. And I really need to rewrite this list, it's getting pretty worn. But thanks to all of you for supporting everyone on the Patreon. So yes, at some point, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be doing the short Distant Travels, just to see what happens there after where we left things last time. Then it'll be the live stream, and the following weekend it will be more Infinite Space. We'll be catching up on things there. So I hope you enjoyed the Smoke Room. There'll be probably towards the end of April more Smoke Room with Nik, and there'll be more non-Sam narrations going on, which is always interesting for me to do. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.